Welcome to another episode of Grade Pending, the show where we review movies, TV shows, music, all that good stuff, and we give our opinions and reviews on it. We have a unique grading system, of course. Awesome, which is the top of the top, the cream of the crop, the best of the best. We got dope, which is very good, not perfect, not the bestest, but hey, it's a good show, good piece of entertainment. We got meh, which basically is all right, or watched it once, not trying to watch it no more. And then we got straight trash. With I'm never watching it again. It was hot garbage. Get this out my face. Why did I spend money on this? However you feel about it. All right. We do our individual review and then come back and talk about it as a community. And today we'll be talking about the new Ryan Coogler movie, Sinners. It's in theaters now. But of course, to talk about it, we have to talk about it. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Go watch another time. Go watch 3 more times. Then come back and you can watch this because we will be spoiling it. We're gonna be talking about it fully and giving our thoughts on it and things, right? So let's get into our individual reviews first, and then we'll come back and talk about it as a community.
For me, this movie was absolutely awesome from start to finish. Whether it's the character development, the cinematography, the music. There's nothing about this movie I didn't like. I asked my 17-year-old to summarize if he had to explain the movie to somebody, and he came up with 3 words: bros, blues, and blood. That was the 3 he picked. And I was like, all right, cool, I can rock with that. So I'm definitely taking that from him. So shout out to Aiden for giving me that little tidbit. But for me, start to finish, absolutely awesome.
So I kind of agree. I absolutely loved the movie. I thought it was great. Um, I could have done a little bit without the river dancing, but I understand why it was part of it, why it was needed. And I could have done without the end credit scenes, whatever. But overall, though, I get why they did it. So it wasn't terrible the way they did it. Like I understand why they did what they did, but the movie itself, though, I love that. Like I agree with Lou. Like I love the music. I love the way it was shot. I loved all the acting in it. Like there's not one person I was like, yo, this doesn't really fit. My favorite character was actually Delroy Lindo. Like I just love the way he played his little drunk crazy character. But like I said, I love the movie. I'm going with awesome. Did I make that up?
God damn it, guys. It is with heavy heart that I must disagree with you, gentlemen. How do I tackle this? All right, I love Ryan Coogler. I love Michael B. Jordan. Creed is a 10 out of 10 on the grade pending scale. It is an awesome. Unfortunately, that comes with expectations. Black Panther 1, Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler, fantastic film. This, in spite of Feige. But this, right? So I love horror. John knows that. You guys know that. This was sold as a vampire movie. This was sold as Black from Dusk Till Dawn. But it just wasn't that. It wasn't. It was a film about I don't know, slavery or something. I don't know. Paul's wearing black people on his shirt, so I'm sure he'll get into it. It's got the people in the back, the painting, the blues, blah blah. Ah, man, it was good. It's just not what everyone is saying it is. To me, it just didn't work. Like everyone is glazing this fucking scene where the way music through time, and it's a beautiful scene. It's really well done, but it just took me out of the movie. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, is Sammy about to start time traveling? Like, what is happening? Like, it pulled me out of my vampire movie. I just wanted a vampire movie directed by Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, but I guess that's what this is. It was never just going to be a horror movie. It was going to be so much more. But I just wanted a horror movie. And now, Paul, I know you went the second time because you really wanted to see Cornbread and IMAX, that urination scene. But that just didn't do it for me. You have a horror movie. It just this should have been a fucking high awesome for me. And I'm not gonna say it's a meh because the music was phenomenal, the cinematography was phenomenal, the acting obviously nobody, to your point, no one did a bad job. It's just overall didn't. It wasn't the 10 out of 10 that I was expecting based on the talent involved, and that's really not fair. That's my expectations. Also, fuck the trailers. Like I looked away from the trailers, but I could still hear from the fucking trailer, "That's not your brother." So the whole time I'm like, "Great, one of them is gonna turn. I can't wait to that." And it just, man, that fucking pissed me off that was ruined. But it's making $1 billion, so fucking God bless, And I'm happy it's not a Marvel movie, even though they put Avengers in the marketing for some reason. Goddamn. Anyway, I'm gonna go with it's a dope. It's a dope for me, which is still good. It's just not what I'm seeing people saying it is. It's just go watch From Dusk Till Dawn. From Dusk Till Dawn better. Go watch Creed. Creed's better.
But yeah, to me, I agree with Otto on the part that the trailer sets expectations and gives too much away and does a lot of negative things to the movie. A lot of people that I know were walking into it expecting a vampire movie. They clearly gave you that. They clearly told you who's going to turn, how they're going to turn, when they're going to turn. We seen the whole movie in the trailers. But then going to watch the movie, I literally got a totally different movie as soon as the movie started. I loved the first 30, 40 minutes of world building, character development, character building. I loved meeting the players in the story. And even though it was 1932 Mississippi, in 2025 in any hood, those people. We got the twins or even just the brothers that are the known people in the block, in the building, in the hood. The old drunk dude who's got stories for days, something to talk about, and people sit around and listen. The young kid who's smart or athletic, has potential to get out the hood and do more. The little white girl that grew up with everybody here, so she get a pass. You know what I'm saying? She's there. The auntie who takes care of everybody, prays over everybody, looks at everybody. So we got those characters in every neighborhood that you visit, and then we get so much deeper storytelling that I'm not going to go into, obviously, because it's going to take so much time. But to me, no scene was wasted in this movie in telling the story that Ryan Coogler wanted to tell. First movie he made that wasn't tied to a comic book, a sequel, an actual living person. It was from his brain, from his heart. And yes, he took a lot of inspiration from other movies, which he credited From Dusk Till Dawn, even Puss in Boots, the Faculty, The Thing. He credited a bunch of things to create this story, and I feel like it's genreless. I don't think it's a horror movie. I don't think it's I think it's just a great piece of storytelling, and to me, there's no, like I said, no wasted scenes, no wasted dialogue. Even like I said, even the Asian people. We all know the Asian people in the hood that own the market or the Chinese store. They cool with us. We know them. And then the white people move in, and then things get crazy. But it wasn't made as just, white people are bad, white people are evil. I loved that specifically the vampire of the story was Irish, and his perspective wasn't just, I want to take over you guys. It was, I could offer you something different from what you're going through right now. And it was like, I've been there too. A lot of people don't realize the British took over Ireland and screwed them over. And specifically the Choctaw Indians, who also make a cameo in the movie, actually sent money to Ireland when they were going through a big famine and getting overtaken at the time. So every little piece and every dynamic of people that you meet in it is there for a reason, is there with a purpose. And I just thought it was a very well done story. Even the Riverdance scene, homie was spitting. I don't know. You listen to some of that rebel Irish music, they got some bars. I didn't know. I was introduced to it. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, my man was hitting it. So I was like, I listened to the soundtrack, and I'm like, I don't skip that song. I let it rock. But to me, overall, I think it was an awesome movie. I've seen it twice. Seen it once in the Dolby Theater. Seen it again 70 millimeter IMAX Lincoln Center. Me myself, I prefer the Dolby Cinema because I'm not a cinephile or movie. The old school 70 millimeter was cool, but I like the Dolby colors better. It is what it is. But awesome, and we can talk about it, a little further with everybody else now.
I like the movie. It's just, some things didn't make, I didn't need.
Killing me, Otto. Killing me.
I didn't need Riverman.
But again, I do blame, and Otto, you're kind of low. I don't know if your mic, but
on purpose. That's on purpose. That's fine.
Yeah, you're right. Matter of fact, just so as I was saying, the trailers, and again, that was I believe that was out of Ryan Coogler's hands. Once he got partnered with Warner Brothers, and they paid another company to cut the trailer, and a lot of times movie studios get nervous with a completely black cast or predominantly black cast, black director, black director, black writer, black this, black that, and then a new IP. So they we got to give it all away because the people are not going to know what this is. And you didn't need to do that for this. Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan alone, them two partnership could sell the movie. And to me, Sammy is the star of the movie. But Michael B. Jordan is the star for the selling point. Ryan Coogler is a star in this to sell. It's his story, his directing, and I think that was enough. They could have gave us a different trailer, but again, movie studios still don't know how to properly introduce new IPs because they're so used to remaking, sequels,
adaptation,
comic books, video games. So they don't. When it's something new, they're like, I guess we got to show them everything to get them to come see it because they won't come see it. So, I'll unmute you now, Otto, but shut up. As of right now, 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, 97% from the fan perspective.
And it still did not need that scene at the end where Michael B. Jordan sees his fucking dead wife and dead baby. Get the fuck out of here. We're not fucking stupid. She already said, I'm waiting for you on the other.
All right, so we're going to mute Otto again.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciated that.
We just gotta keep him quiet for the rest of this episode, I guess. I don't know, John. What did you think about that scene?
I think for our overall beautiful liberty, I think we should unmute Otto. But I do agree. They could have just made it a thing. Maybe heard a baby cry in the background. You didn't need the actual scene sucking on the tit and all that. You didn't need the actual scene. But I get the imagery behind it, so I understand because it's Ryan Coogler. I get it. But we didn't need that. And to unlike Otto though, because I watched the trailer. I was like, oh, they're gonna make this more than a horror movie. So I didn't go in with just the expectations of a horror movie. So I didn't think it was gonna be just a Doug Sedan. I was like, all right, well, it's gonna be more than that. And like I said, I like what they did with it overall. As a horror fan, I'm not like, oh, it is a great horror movie. But as a movie fan, I'm like, oh, this is a really good movie. Right. Really great movie. I did enjoy it. It's one of my better watched films of this year that I really enjoyed. And it's actually one of the ones I was most anticipated for when they first announced it. And it lived up to the hype that I expected. It actually met the expectations I expected because I did watch the trailers. So I knew that obviously this person turns to a vampire, this person turns to a vampire, and I do agree it would have been better to not show that stuff. But I do get why they did it. Like I said, I love the way it was shot. I love the music behind it. I really enjoyed it overall. And again, it wasn't much horror. I wish with all that said, there would have been more killing. Took a little more from Dusk to Dawn and had a lot more killing, a lot more being done. But
it's not from dusk till dawn.
Till dawn, right? Don't
compare it to what it's not.
So
it's not that.
So for me, this is why that scene was important. So if you go back to when he first
wait a second, I can unmute myself.
Yeah. So when he first reconnects with Annie, she tells him, "Don't you think I've been out there protecting you and your stupid brother for all this time that has passed?" The symbolism behind this, he rips it off. Right?
Mojo bag.
Because his brother's in his mind, his brother's gone. So the person, the thing kept him tied, kept him grounded, is no longer there. Now the new thing that's keeping him that he wants to get to is her and the child. So that's why you have to see that. You had to you got to make that
but we
correlation.
know
Like,
that though. We don't have to see it because we know it. We don't have to
But
show it.
but I do disagree with that because he didn't take it off because he knew his brother was gone, because he knew he didn't kill his brother. We didn't know, but he knew he didn't kill his brother. So that's not
you know what I'm
true,
saying, but in
because he
his
knew he
mind,
didn't kill his brother.
his brother is gone. The one
Yeah,
thing
he's
that
gone
kept him there,
spiritually gone.
Oh,
He's
like
yeah,
not.
his spirit is
Yeah,
gone.
I get it.
So he
yeah.
pulled it
But he
off
still has
like,
stuff to, he
I
still has
don't
stuff
no
to live
longer
for.
need this protection. My brother's gone.
There, wa-
Keeping
He's
me
ready to
safe.
there
die,
was
basically.
It's
there
gone.
was
I'm
more
ready to go.
killing in that scene right there where he grabs the Tommy gun. There was more killing in that scene than there was throughout the entire movie.
Absolutely,
Which, by the
absolutely.
way, like we knew that Tommy gun because they mentioned it. Chekhov's like, oh, we don't even get the stuff from the truck. I'm like, all right, they're gonna have that shootout, and we saw in the trailer.
And we saw it in the trailer.
But that whole gun scene was a complete misdirection because he didn't stay to kill the white guys. He didn't stay to kill that.
He
I
definitely
think
said,
he
"I'm gonna
stood.
stay here to kill the white guys." But all right,
For me, I think
by all
his
means, kill the
brother,
white guys. They deserve it.
was still in that barn. I think Stack was still in that barn when he locked it up. Had they gotten into there, they would have got Stack in a state of vulnerability where the light could have hurt him.
Nah, while it was still nighttime, he told his brother bounce. It was still nighttime.
But
He told his brother
for
bounce.
me, we don't see him. But we don't see him leave. We see Mary take off. Mary takes off. We see that. I think Stack was still in that barn.
It's possible.
Stack
It's
was
possible.
inside Mary at the time, if I had to guess. Based on what we
Again,
saw.
Well, no, because we see Mary take off.
Right, and then
the
Stack
mid-credits
is in her right
Stack
after.
follow that ass.
Yeah.
Stack follow that ass.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, I'm not. It's possible. But I do think he knew they were coming. So yeah, he was down to kill them all. And,
So
and
when you
they
guys
were-
saw the electric guitar again, the sequence was phenomenal. But it didn't pull you out of the fucking period picture to see.
No, it did. That, I agree with that.
I didn't feel like it pulled me out of the movie.
And I get it, but like I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Like what? Like where's his editor to be like, yo, maybe you don't do this, but people loved it, so maybe I'm wrong.
It worked for me.
Listen.
I liked even the production of the song with each genre layered on top of each other worked.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
It blended it, and seeing the different cultures, the different time, the different eras, it worked for me.
But
And I think it was shot well done too, with the camera following and panning through,
Right.
and everyone being unified. I like it.
But I get why they shot it, and it was a beautiful scene without a doubt.
Yeah.
But one, it reminded me that I'm not watching just a vampire movie, and then two,
Because you weren't. It's not just
took
a
me out-
vampire movie.
It took me out for a second where it was like, are we still? It's not the 30s anymore. Like the
Yeah,
whole when they were
was
twerking, all that. Like I get why they did it, but I also it did take me out the movie for a minute.
I think you guys were stuck on it being a vampire movie. It's not just a vampire movie.
Real quick, trolling aside, you can't be like, oh, it's not a horror movie. Yes, the fuck it is. They're using it as
It's not a vampire movie.
horror movie. They're using it as the highest rated horror movie coming from them directly.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with
they're
that.
the ones saying it. You can't. What do you mean you don't agree with that? They're the ones
I spoke about Rotten Tomato. I didn't speak about the highest rate. I didn't say that. I said Rotten Tomatoes said.
Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan are posting the articles saying that this is the highest.
Okay.
rated.
It's
That's the
marketing, but I don't agree. I think again, it's not just a vampire movie. So again, if you guys are saying that took you out of it because you wanted vampires, it's not just a vampire movie to me.
That's fair.
So it didn't disconnect. That scene flowed with that the music element was the most important part of the story
Shout out
and
to
what
Ludwig.
tied it all together. So that was the scene. That was the actual money shot of the overall story. When
The money shot was when she spit in his mouth.
that's a different money shot.
Agreed.
That's
Agreed.
a totally different. Totally different.
That makes
money
sense.
Shot. Still totally different money shot for different.
makes sense.
Again, a whole different genre of film. But in this particular film, that scene, the IMAX ratio, the one shot going through, and that was the culmination of it all. And I think it was well done. And like I said, if you listen to the soundtrack, you listen to that song by itself, you can hear. And shout out to Ludwig, like that dude Ludwig. I learned him from producing Childish Gambino songs, and then he's scoring movies and stuff. And
the Academy Award-winning Joker soundtrack. What are you talking about?
I'm not discrediting him. I'm actually bigging him up. Like the dude is very talented, and he is the epitome of what the movie's about. To be Swedish and produce hip hop and score movies and then do Swedish music, and he's showing you how we separate things too much, where a lot of
Maybe
stuff
I misunderstood the movie,
is similar and the
wasn't
same.
Wasn't the point of the movie that the Irish vampires invented music? Is that not what?
Invented music?
Yeah.
No. No, that was not the point of the music. No, but once again, he was spitting and he was killing it with that that song, and
Well, he did have the best dance move.
he was doing his version of crip walking, cracker walking, I guess. I don't know what you want to call it, but it was a different kind of sea walk. It was a different kind of sea walk, but he was stepping on them. You know what I'm saying? He was hitting them things. So it's just to show that we all can make rebel music and and soulful music. Is just in a different style. And his style was that.
But I do feel like with watching the trailers and hearing the way they announced everything, they did push it as this will be a vampire horror movie.
I blame the trailers. Sure. Okay, but then you see it and you see it's not. When you watch the movie, you see it's clearly not.
The main vampire had an agenda. Like his agenda wasn't just to kill Sammy, and he wanted Sammy to be connected to what he lost.
His people that were also mistreated and killed. And,
So it was much deeper than a vampire
Absolutely.
movie.
The vampires was an allegory for...
Nobody's disputing that. But what we're saying is when you go into it thinking it's a vampire movie and a horror movie, because that's how they advertised it, that scene does throw you off a little bit, because that scene is different than the entire
go watch it again with your newfound knowledge of knowing what it is.
That scene is very different than the entire movie. So the beginning of the movie, it's still like, it still could be a vampire film. They're just building story. Then when that scene happens, it does take you out for a minute, because it's like, all right, this is different. It's still good, but it's different.
We all agree it's a good movie. We're not saying it's not a good movie.
Yeah, no, I'm just... I mean, we're focusing on that scene still. I don't agree that... Again, when you're watching the movie, you don't even see vampires at that point. So... To me, that's when you... After that is when you're introduced to the vampires.
That's the fucking point. They sold us vampires. Now they're dancing with future guitars.
And I started my whole thing by saying blame the trailer company that cut it. The same way when Age of Ultron came out, the first trailer they showed was very dark and ominous, and all of a sudden Ultron's cracking jokes. The freaking Infinity War, there's a whole scene with Hulk and all of them running, and Hulk's not even in that part of the movie. Like he's like, this trailers lie. Trailers be wrong. There's a whole different company that cut trailers. It's not the director's vision. It's not like, it's a whole separate company that do that. Otto, most of the time, says he doesn't watch trailers. He stays away for this reason.
And I still fucking heard.
So he got caught up. You should have stuck to your game plan. You don't watch trailers.
Listen to my review. I said I heard it. This motherfucker.
Turn the mute. You should have muted it. You were listening too much.
I tried.
The trailers, they tried to sell it as that because that was the easy sales pitch. And, but then when you go see the movie, you're like, this is not even that. It's something else.
But that's what I paid to see. So I'm allowed to be disappointed.
But I say go watch it again. But you weren't disappointed. You weren't disappointed.
That's the key word.
But I was disappointed.
You were just a little misguided.
No, I was disappointed. I said
you liked it. It was a good movie. You're not disappointment. You still enjoyed a good movie.
I wanted it to be a great movie. It's supposed to be a 10. It's an 8.
It is great. It's 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's it's 84 on Metacritic.
Well, to speak in the 2021 Vision words, Otto gave it a dope. He wanted it to be an awesome.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
But I think the same way I didn't give an accurate review of Daredevil, he's not giving an accurate review. He wants to go higher. I think he does. I think he wants to go higher. It's okay. And once again, his mouth was covered when he did the review, so I'm going to edit that. I'm going to cut this part out. But I'm going to edit that and make him say, awesome. So it's unanimously awesome. What are you talking about?
Great on the curve. We're good on the curve.
I unlike the trailer, I have final edits and cuts on this video, so I can make it say whatever I wanted to say.
I want to stop bearing all the stuff that didn't work for me, and I want to talk about what didn't work for John but worked for me was the time jump in the mid credits, the epilogue. I liked it, but John, I think I heard you say you didn't like that. You didn't like the
I didn't think it was needed. Not that I didn't like it. It was cool what they did it, and I love to see them bring the Coogee sweater back, and but there was no need for it.
So again,
you could have ended the movie how to end it and been fine.
The gentleman was the musician that was kind of the muse of this movie. Buddy Guy is the artist, and that was his.
Yeah, we know who the fuck it is, man. I know.
John, do you know?
Yeah, 100%.
So it was paying homage to him. So it was actually
I know, but
putting him
John
to, for
Cena
those that don't know, was putting him in the movie.
See, it worked for me because I took it as at the core of the movie is about two brothers, and Smoke
Sir,
always
this movie about
protected,
Sammy.
always protected Stack, right? And at the very end of it, he says he made a promise to his brother, even transcending death, even becoming something different. Stack honored Smoke and didn't touch Sammy, didn't go after Sammy, protected Sammy. 60 years later, he gets to come to Sammy like, hey, I made a promise to my brother that no harm, I wouldn't touch you. I wouldn't come for you. He easily could have just disavowed that promise. His brother's long and gone. Years have passed. So it was important for us to see that through everything they've been through, he kept his brother's word. His brother protected him their whole life. He still honored his brother 60 years later and still watched over Sammy. Came to Sammy, told him, hey, you dying. I can give you a way out. No thanks. Hug, reminiscing some music, and they were out of there. So I
And
think
his soul was still there to
But
even keep the
so
promise.
I fully understand the scene. What I'm saying is that one, I didn't need it, but two, on top of that, people know, except for Marvel movies, most people don't stay for mid or end credits anyway. So no one else would have got that message either, because a lot of
That's
people
not
walked
true.
out in the theater we were in.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that people didn't get a message. They would just not seen the scene.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
really
which is
crucial.
that
I
message
feel like that
of the
scene was
brotherhood you're
crucial.
talking about.
I think that was crucial. That was a very important scene. My question is, do you think because of the success that this ends up being a sequel that's taken in a different time period?
I hope
Hope
not.
not.
But if
I hope not.
the only sequel that they should do is Remic's backstory.
I agree with that.
So that would be the only thing. A prequel is the only thing I could see doing. A sequel wouldn't. I don't think it would because if the music is the focal point, then you got to give us the Irish music.
Correct.
Give us
Yeah,
Remic's
I don't see
backstory.
Ryan doing the Irish film.
And that's what I'm saying. So he could produce it, but he can get someone else to, that would handle that one with the same care that he handled, the Mississippi Delta music. Get someone that is favorable for Irish rebel music, and that could do that justice. If he produces it and have them write it or work with them in conjunction, that's the only sequel I would want to see, or prequel, I should say. I don't think you can continue the story and it still have the same heart and soul to it. But again, money talks. So yeah, it can happen. Obviously,
Did you, and tell me the truth, when it faded to black at the end, were you expecting Wesley or Mahershala?
we didn't. It was Blade. It was Blade to me. I don't know what you're talking about. This was Marvel's Blade. Hawkeye was there. Killmonger was there. Like this was Blade. I don't know what you're talking about.
The time.
Yeah, the TVA agent was there. Like this was Blade. This was Blade. This is the best Blade ever. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. Like this was
Whoa! Don't disrespect Blade 2.
the Blade. This was the best Blade ever.
Don't disrespect Blade 2.
Trinity with Triple H. Come on now.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know about all that, but
I know it's pretty bad, but that one had vampires in it. This one,
vampires are used, for a lot of reasons. They're good for same way Walking Dead uses zombies, but to tell a story about the people that are surviving the apocalypse. The zombies just happen to be there.
So for the gentleman that watched it twice in the big screen, what was your favorite part? Was it just the music?
Specifically on the IMAX screen, you mean, or just in general?
Well, I mean, you wanted to watch it again. So what made you want to watch it again? Besides the cornbread scene that you already admitted you wanted to see.
For me personally, one, Ryan Coogler, basically promoted and praised the IMAX, the ratio and all that stuff. And again, to me, I got why. I'm just like it had that old fashioned real. So you actually see the stuff on the screen. You see like little lint and things flying on it. So it was a nostalgic, a visual concept of it. But I prefer Adobe, colors with the contrast ratio and the technology that we're at today. I prefer that. So that was my reasoning for seeing it. I wanted to see it the way he envisioned it. I get it, cool, but I like these colors. To me, it was a little more saturated and faded. I like the blacks to be black and the whites to be white and the reds and blues to pop.
Racist.
I don't like the saturated colors. that's why I don't like Zack Snyder movies. I like some color.
What about you, Lou? What made you want to watch it again?
So for me, I took my daughter to see it last Thursday, and my son missed out. Me and my son always go to movies. Like he's my ride or die. So I told him like, "You're off. I want to see an IMAX. Let's go." My favorite part in IMAX was not the first music scene, but the second one when the other girl's singing. Um,
And she's
that
stomping.
yeah, when she's stomping, because the whole theater was just rocking. Like you felt the music.
And they were
Uh,
stomping dude out in the back.
yeah, right on beat too. It was crazy. But that did it for me. Seeing it in the IMAX ratio, I didn't get to see it in 70 millimeter because there's only 7 theaters or 8
Yeah.
entire
Shout out to
country.
Lincoln Center. That was one of them. I got to
One
see
from New
it.
York, yeah.
But
My favorite scene. Sorry to cut you. I didn't answer that part, but my favorite scene was literally the scene behind me in the IMAX when the aspect ratio changed. It looked like a boss fight was about to start. So it went from the 16:9 ratio, and then it panned as they were all grabbing their weapons. It panned
filled,
into the
yeah.
full IMAX view, and it looked like she's about to get real. So that it kind of got you into the epic feel of, okay, they're about to fight. This is gonna be the big battle scene, and because the other times when the camera was switched to IMAX or regular, it just switched. It went from that to that. But that time it actually expanded, and you see them all pan out. Everybody got a weapon after the Asian lady invited them in and got everybody messed up. But once they did that was probably because that's when you really seen the aspect ratio really, you know, expand and change and look like it was pulling you into the scene. So that was cool.
Now, Lou, you mentioned you took your daughter. The language in this film, there's a lot of pussy talk. How'd you handle that with a family member?
I mean, well, she's 12 going at 13, so she's becoming a
Jesus
teenager.
Christ, it's rated R, bro. What are you
You know,
doing?
listen, but she went in there, so I took her because I wanted her to see the film. Like I did wanted her to understand cinematography and all that stuff. And the first thing she said, she leaned over to me when they did the first, one motion through the town. We see the follow cam. She's like, "That's all done with one camera." Like she appreciated
Nice,
that
bro.
that,
That's awesome.
that was done with one camera. Like they followed him through and they found. She loved how it reversed back into it. When Grace was
Yeah,
coming through
the daughter walked across the street, and then the mom
right, and then
came.
Grace
Yeah.
walked back. So for that, my daughter actually was like Otto before we went to go see it. I don't want to see it. It's not really a horror film. It doesn't look like it. Blah. She went in there with like -0 expectations, and she walked out of there and said, "Dad, that was masterpiece." She's like, "That was a 10 out of 10 masterpiece." So for a 12-year-old to understand the depths of it, I love that. My
When
17-year-old went with me on Tuesday.
Sorry, I was gonna say when she turns 13, are you gonna show her From Dusk Till Dawn?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I got to throw in a Quentin Tarantino movie. So she can understand cinema back in the day. But she appreciated it. I mean, she covered her eyes a lot for the vulgar parts. You know, but she actually
So for most
did
of the movie,
enjoy it. My 17-year-old same thing. He went in there with expectations like I thought. You can see here the befuddlement on his face while he watched it. Like this is not really a horror movie, but he got it at the end and he loved it. He's like that's one of the best Ryan Coogler movies he's ever seen. My daughter has to watch Fruitvale Station. I told her she has to watch that one. Different kind of Coogler movie, but for me it was so much deeper than a horror movie. My daughter's big into horror. She loves like all the Scream, newer Screams. She loves Megan, all that dark horror stuff. For her, she knew it wasn't going to be a horror movie. So I don't know how you didn't get that, and the 12-year-old understood that from the
Because
trailer.
I didn't watch the fucking trailers.
But you listened.
He listened.
No.
But I mean, having that open mind to it. I mean, a great movie. I understand the horror, true horror enthusiasts wanted to see that blood, that gore.
Of course.
I mean, we got tidbits
Nudity.
where the flesh, looked weird. I like the fact that they hid those moments though. Like whenever the Irish vampire was attacking, you'll see it for like a second, like him flying or jumping, and then boom, cut to different scenes. So I love that. I really love that part of it.
Otto, what's your favorite Ryan Coogler movie?
Ooh,
I said it at the beginning of this, and I'll say it again. Creed, sir. 10 out of 10. Awesome.
John, what's your favorite Ryan Coogler movie?
That's really hard. Because it probably will be Creed, but I love Black Panther. Like Black Panther was phenomenal, so that's really hard. But
Keep in
it
mind,
probably will be Creed.
Creed didn't have that bullshit CG scene at the end that Black Panther did. Just keep that in mind.
Don't try to sway
Black
the man's
Panther
vote.
had
All right, we heard your
more
vote.
motivational quotes, especially
No, it didn't.
Killmonger.
No, it didn't. Watch it again. Watch it again. Watch Creed again, bro.
Lou, what's your favorite Ryan Coogler
Nobody
movie?
had cancer in Black
I
Panther.
mean, Sinners is there at the top for me right now. I love Fruitvale Station. It's one of my like OG like supporting Coogler before he was, MCU Black Panther Coogler. I think those two at the beginning, seeing how great Fruitvale Station was done, is probably one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, I think I got this one up there because it's an original,
Right.
from scratch, like from his brain,
His brain.
from his brain. You know what I'm saying? I think I respect
His
it.
brain or his Blu-ray collection? Carry on.
Both. I mean, listen, that's art. You know what I'm saying? A lot
I
of
mean,
people,
there was a nice Robert Rodriguez influence.
but he says that he's been on his promo tour saying that, so it's not like he's like, no, this was all me. He's not. He's saying he literally shouts out Rodriguez, Tarantino, and a bunch of. Like, he shout all that out. Like, he says that. So there's no mystery. There's no secret. Like, I borrowed. I took inspiration from, as all great artists do. But again, once again, let us know what you guys think. Comment your thoughts. Let us, tell us how you feel about it, where you rate it, what's your favorite Ryan Coogler movie. Coogler and Michael B. Are they a great tandem? Does Coogler bring the best out of Michael B. Jordan? Like, how do you feel about that? Like,
why is there no great pending for Minecraft?
I haven't seen it. You mean you seen it?
I had to. Ben is like a fucking. I had to watch it.
Otto's gonna say something. Hold on, Otto.
Well, no, one chicken jockey for John. Congratulations, you're a good father for watching that.
There we go. It's
Really
terrible.
quickly, I want to shout out, if you guys want to see a actual good movie about a black guy, go watch Magazine Dreams. Magazine Dreams is better than this, and it had more vampires, believe it or not. Carry on.
There's no vampires in Magazine Dreams?
Maybe you gotta watch
Don't
it.
listen to Otto.
There's no vampires.
I mean, I do
in
agree that
Magazine Dreams.
it looks really good. I watched the trailer.
I do want to see it. Obviously, it got pulled out of theaters very quickly because there's a conspiracy to take the black man down, which is also happening in Shannon Sharp, which happens in Sinners, but we're not talking about that right now. But
minor spoiler: there's definitely more anal in Magazine Dreams than in Sinners. So
I'm sold.
Good. I'm
sold.
I'm not
sold. He's in. We got him.
I'm good on that. I'll watch it, but I'll fast forward past that part. We out of here.
Let's watch it together.
No, because you're gonna try something. You're gonna touch me.
I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna win. I'm a lot bigger than you.
Comment.
Stop. Get off me.
All that good stuff.
Later, y'all. Bye, everybody.